All right, this is Sue's Love and Tarot. We're going to start with Libra. Okay, let's see. What's coming in for Libra? Woo! Okay, let's see. All right, anxiety, nightmares, depression, worry, and fear. Okay, so I feel like some people might have made some choices they weren't happy with. Okay, let's see. What fears or anxieties am I currently struggling with, and how can I confront and overcome them? Okay, worry, stress will not resolve the situation. You must find the solution. Okay, yeah, so that's the thing, right? It's easy to say it, but get into the solution. Sometimes, if you have all these things, you can get a notepad and just write them down. Okay, all right, so there's that. And then, um, what old patterns? Oh my God, this was coming up. Okay, in yesterday's energy. What old patterns or habits are you ready to leave behind and transform? Rebirth, awakening, renewal, and judgment. Okay. And it says be accountable for your actions. Okay. Let me get another one on that. Okay, but see, look, you're going to have a breakthrough, pushing beyond your comfort zone, discovering new capabilities, allowing yourself to be open and grow stronger through transparency. Okay. Do I have a problem with transparency and being open? Okay, so you might have been coming out of this energy. There are so many barriers stopping us from being together. I'm trying my best to become a better person so I can knock down the walls for you and eventually with you. Okay, so I'm getting also, it could be a literal wall. What is that? It's like the Berlin Wall. Okay, so there, that's what I was saying. It was like some repeating patterns here. Okay. All right, but now we're talking about love. Okay, so um, I feel like there might be a little bit of a blame energy here. And that I think is the barrier, the wall. Okay, so, and also if you're in blame energy, that's also like victim energy too. All right, so you have to kind of take a look at that if that's you, if that resonates. Okay. So it's like getting into a new relationship with someone completely new, and it's like how much to share and how much not to share, and um, do I share the song and dance I went through with these past people or this past person? I would say if it comes up, talk about it, but I wouldn't worry about it. I would just move forward and try to be open, because that was coming up yesterday. Let me get another one. Guidance from above. Okay, so that was coming up yesterday. Just get quiet. If you think you're on the wrong path, you could be, but how would you know? You just have to get quiet and tune in. Okay, willingness to be open of the connection. For someone, that's the barrier. Openness, okay, brings graceful understanding and enhances your presence. Clarity arrives when you allow yourself to be receptive. Okay, all right, so we have to get out of that kind of excuse me, my way mentality. Okay, so I let fictional tales blind my reality. Okay, so um Excuse me. Okay, so you might be dealing with a Taurus or some Taurus energy or Scorpio here. Is that in your charts? You might go take a look at that. That might help you understand something. Am I being headstrong? Stubborn was coming out in an air sign energy. Okay, but that was a good kind of stubborn. This is not. Okay. All right, so am I living in a fantasy land? Okay. So it's like, when people get together, there's like they say that honeymoon period and then reality sets in. I feel like you need to have more of that kind of dreamy energy to create, is what I'm getting. That's what it looks like to me. You got to have that kind of dreamy energy to create. But see, this is the gauge. In my fantasy world or in my creation, am I hurting other people? That's the gauge right there. Okay. If the answer is yes, then you might want to do some more self-study there. Okay, allowing them to dictate my emotions. I now realize the stories I consume were meant to guide, not control. Okay. So sometimes people get in these positions at work where they feel like there's no way out, right? That there's a program and you have to follow it even if you necessarily for some of you might have fooled yourself into believing something that some other group or family members said, but you are like the unicorn now. It's like you're starting to see the holes in that or the differences. Let me get another one. All right. Okay, so this is the other thing. Have I been motivated with materialism and just money, right? Okay, because you can only have so much money. You can have trillions of dollars and still be dissatisfied. Okay, and here it says seeks validation through fame and feels. Oh, that could have been partly that Taurus energy. Okay. All right, so seeks validation through fame and feels unstable. Okay, so this is the thing. If you're in your career, are you seeking validation from the outside world? If you are, that could, let's go back to here, that could be harming your judgment. Okay, or distorting your judgment. Okay, that's what I'm getting. All right, so the spotlight, okay. I feel like it's actually giving you joy, the spotlight. But, I feel like whoever this is, it's like you don't have to go to church here. It says get in touch. It says material abundance leads to spiritual scarcity. So I feel like what you want is someone who is perhaps more spiritual. Could be someone who has lots of money but also has a spiritual side, because if they don't, then it's just kind of redundant here is what I'm getting. Maybe you've lost touch with your spiritual side. Okay. I feel like for some of you there's like a family member or or friends or a new group you could find to hang out with. That might bring in some different perspectives. I would suggest that if you're hanging out with the same crowd and you're getting the same unwanted things, it might be time to switch it up a bit. Okay. Because the reading I'm getting here is that someone is not satisfied. Okay. with just materialism. Okay. When I'm with you, I feel complete. I realize that you, not material things, are what truly matters in my life. Okay, so, and I feel like you want someone to see you um, not as just this material person. You want real love. Okay, let's get a card on that. I feel like the last person you were with, there were two different visions. I feel like you were the one that had all the self discipline, and the other person was kind of like passionate, but maybe not as reliable as you. Let me get another one. Monaco. Let me get that. 777. Okay. Bets on uncertain outcomes with little control over the results. Okay, so some of you made decisions at work that was a lot like gambling, and you feel like you want to get the sevens in a row, your ducks in a row, but it seems like you're on some odd numbers here. Okay. Dreams of hitting the jackpot, but often ends up with empty pockets. Now, this is what you want. Jackpot in love. That's what I'm getting, Libra. The jackpot in love feels trapped in a slot machine cycle and hopes for a lucky break. Okay. Now, for some of you, you've hit the jackpot. You've had success and you're already building. That's what I'm getting. And I see good things for that. Okay. You ended one cycle and went into another one. Okay. So, and I feel like this is like a high vibing connection. Okay. Now, for some of you, if you feel like you're not lucky in love, that potential is there. Okay. Let's get another one. Happy endings. Feel skeptical. Okay, are you skeptical about happy endings, right? Like, do you feel like the shoe's gonna drop if you go out with somebody and it's good, right? Okay, feel skeptical or happy endings and distrust fairy tale promises. Okay, well, that's wild though, because I feel like there's like with your work, there's this whole like dreamy, creative energy. But then when it comes to your love life, it's like, let's keep it real. Oh my God, that is so funny. This thing that I picked up, it said, creep it real. Okay, so for some female, it's you want to know right away if they're a creep or not, and then it's like next. Okay. All right, but anyway, so believes reality is far from the fairy tale and feels disillusioned. There may have been some sort of scene or scenario where it felt like a fairy tale, okay, but it didn't turn out that way. Just like I'm getting kind of like the nutcracker thing. Okay, all right. Is that literal? Okay, anyway. All right, so question the promises that seem too perfect. Okay. All right, so the key is opening up, getting outside that kind of shy energy for whoever that is. I'm picking that up. Okay. All right, so let's see. Well, let's go ahead and flip that. Oh, it says 69. Okay, let's see what it says on this side. You wanted a fairy tale, but life has shown its imperfections, and our relationship isn't perfect. Story, but it's real. Okay, perfect. It isn't the perfect story, but it's real. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's talking about someone's work. Okay, you had all this like whole like fantasy here, and it wasn't what you thought. Okay, so now you're trying to figure out what to do now. Okay, now this is like keeping it, you got to find somewhere between the fairy tale and keeping it real, right? All right, so yeah, I feel like this card represents work. Okay. Someone always puts love on the back burner. I don't know who this is. Someone always puts love on the back burner, and that's part of the dissatisfaction that's bubbling up here. Yeah, someone's this masculine emperor energy. Okay. How can you assert your authority in a positive way? Yeah, I feel like there's someone that's not perceived as positive here. Okay, authority, structure, stability, leadership. Okay. So I feel like someone's in a role they feel like they have no way out. Order and okay. You want order. If there's chaos, you want order and simplification. Okay. Are the first steps towards mastery of a subject. Okay. Lead everyone by example. Okay. All right. So it's like if you fib, everyone else will fib, right? That kind of energy. All right. So collaboration, teamwork, mastery, and recognition, and apprenticeship. Okay. How can I collaborate with others to achieve my goals? Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. All right, so if you're in this energy, ask yourself, do I have control issues? And if I do, where did that come from, my family, or when did I develop that? Okay, that's a question for someone. Okay. So that's the feeling like you lost your opportunity in love, lack of planning, financial loss, and missed chance. Okay. I feel like that's for a masculine. Okay. Let me see the. Okay, so you want to know about money. Let's see that. Okay, so I want to say whoever this is, your love life is affecting your finances, and that was coming up yesterday a little bit. Okay. Oh no, I'm running out of battery. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so it's like balance your work life, and I feel like, and balance your love life, and it may not happen right away, but it's possible. Okay, and then you'll feel more passionate about what you're doing. Leadership, vision, entrepreneurship, passion, and confidence. It's like you'll get the spark, the passion back. Okay. All right, so movement, action, rapid change, travel, and communication. Okay, now what I'm getting it's not telling you to move fast. It's saying follow your impulses is what I'm getting with this today. It's like if something comes to you, don't sit there and ponder back and forth pros and cons for like days. Like think about it, make a decision, and be more spontaneous is what I'm getting. Okay. But pay attention to the details and what's being offered. And then I feel like through time and planning, okay, even with love, it can come to you. I'll leave you with that.